Good evening everyone, I am Saravanan Elumalai, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Madurai. Today I am going to take the topic .NET. What is .NET? .NET is a Microsoft developed framework for developing Windows as well as web applications. Microsoft.NET is a framework. Microsoft.NET is a framework which provides a common platform to execute or run the application developed in various programming languages. Microsoft announced the .NET initiative in July 2000. The main intention was to bridge the gap between interoperability services of various programming languages. The .NET framework is designed to fulfill the following objectives: provide object-oriented programming environment, provide environment for developing various types of applications such as window-based applications and web-based applications, to ensure that code based on the .NET framework can integrate with any other code. So this is the structure of .NET framework. The common for programming languages used for .NET are VB, C++, C#, JavaScript, and etc. There are many programming languages we can use. We use with .NET. Latestly, it is what's that? Kotlin is used on this. Okay, so common language specification. This is the second tier of the architecture of the .NET framework. So it is the place where all the .NET codes and syntax are provided. So on this based only the code is splitted: ASP.NET or WindowForm or ADO.NET. Then the base class library, then the common language runtime which executes the program, and then to the operating system. So this is the structure of the .NET framework. The .NET framework consists of the common language specification, like I said, CLS. It contains guidelines that languages should follow so that they can communicate with each other in .NET languages. It is also responsible for type matching. The framework base class libraries BCL, a consistent object-oriented library of pre-packaged functionality and applications, just like we header files in C. The common language runtime CLR, a language neutral development and execution environment that provides common runtime for application execution. So next we are going to see common language specification. CLS performs the following functions: establish a framework that helps enable cross language integration, type safety, and high performance code execution; provides an object-oriented model that supports the complete implementation of many programming languages; defines rules that languages must follow, which helps ensure that objects written in different languages can interact with each other. .NET Framework Base Class Library. The class library is comprehensive object-oriented collection of reusable types. These class libraries can use to develop applications that include traditional command line applications, graphical user interface applications, application based on latest innovation provided by ASP.NET, which includes web form and XML web services. So next we are going to see common language runtime. CLR ensures a common runtime environment for all .NET languages. A common runtime environment for all .NET languages uses common type system, strict type and code verification, memory allocation and garbage collection, intermediate language IL to native code compiler, which compiles MSIL code into native executable code, security and interoperability of code with other languages. Over 36 languages supported today by .NET, which includes C#, VB, Visual C++, and Perl, Python, Smalltalk, COBOL, Haskell, Mercury, Eiffel, Oberon, OZ, Pascal, APL, CAML, Scheme, etc. Execution in CLR. The source code of any languages and their respective compilers, to managed code, that is assembly code, and then common language runtime, the JIT compiler, to native code, and then to operating system services. Visual Studio 2008 IDE. Microsoft has introduced Visual Studio .NET, which is a tool also called as integrated development environment for developing .NET applications by using programming languages such as VB, C#, VC++, VJ#, etc. C#. Microsoft C# is pronounced as C#, developed by Microsoft Corporation USA. New programming languages that runs on .NET framework. C# is simple, modern, type-safe, and object-oriented. C# code is compiled as managed code, combines the best features of Visual Basic, C++, and Java. So next is C# features. Simple, modern, object-oriented, type-safe, versionable, compatible, secure. So with this, we are going to see now going to see introduction to web application. So introduction web applications. Web page, static web page. This static and dynamic. So static web page. This type of web page consists of HTML code typed directly into a text or web page editor. It is saved as .htm or .html file. The context, text, images, and hyperlinks to on, and appearance of the static web page is always the same. These web pages do not utilize any database or any other technology. The dynamically build up pages or the content at the runtime based on their visitors' input. How are static web pages served? Web server. First, the author writes the HTML. Client requests the web page. Web server locates the HTML file. HTML stream from the .html page is returned to the browser. Browser processes the HTML and displays the page. A dynamic web page. Dynamic websites provides its visitors to modify the content of the web page based on their input. They utilize database and other mechanisms that enable to identify the visitors, present them with customized greeting messages, restructure the content according to the user input. Examples: online shopping, search engines, email, chat, and community portals, etc. Dynamic web pages. Dynamic websites make use of server-side technology. Server-side technologies add an extra layer to the static web page that enables the web server to generate HTML on the fly. The web server will first interpret the server-side code present in web pages, generate the appropriate HTML, and then send the response to the web browser. How are dynamic web pages served? The web browser sends a request. The web server searches for the requested page. The web server collects the contents, code plus HTML of the web page and passes the contents to produce HTML. The HTML stream is sent back to the requesting browser. Browser then processes the HTML page and displays the page. So with this, we are going to see what is ASP.NET. Introduction to ASP.NET. ASP.NET is a part of .NET framework. ASP.NET is an effective, flexible technology for creating interactive and dynamic web pages. It is convergence of two major Microsoft technologies. ASP, Active Server Page, is a Microsoft server-side scripting technology for building dynamic web pages, and the .NET framework. The .NET framework is a suite of technologies designed by Microsoft where program development takes place. Introduction to ASP.NET. It is built on .NET Common Language Runtime. ASP.NET provides better user authentication, has better language support, has large set of new controls, uses compiled code which increases the performance of the application. It is programmable using any of the .NET languages, VB.NET, C#, VJ#, etc. The ASP.NET pages are served with the .aspx extension. Working of an ASP.NET application. To execute an ASP.NET file, the following steps are followed. A web browser sends a request for an ASP.NET file to the web server by using the URL. The web server receives the request and retrieves the appropriate ASP.NET file from the disk or memory. The web server forwards the file into the ASP.NET script engine for processing. Working of an ASP.NET application. The ASP.NET script engine reads the file from the top to bottom and executes it. The processed ASP.NET file is generated as an HTML document, and the ASP.NET script engine sends the HTML page to the web server. The web server then sends the HTML code to the client, which interprets the output and displays it. So advantages of ASP.NET: easy programming model, flexible language options, compiled execution, rich output catching, a web form session state, enhanced reliability, mastered pages, themes, improved security, web services, improved performance and scalability. Thank you.